Hey guys, so today we're going to be looking at Vibe Voice. This is a text-to-speech model by Microsoft, and basically this will read out whatever text you give it in a really realistic human-style voice. And yeah, it has a bunch of different speakers that you can pick from. But before I play you one of these clips, make sure you stick around to the end because I'm going to show you a way to get this generating at almost instant speed, even on the average consumer hardware. So let's take a look at one of these clips and see how well it does.
I can't believe you did it again. I waited for 2 hours. 2 hours! Not a single call, not a text. Do you have any idea how embarrassing that was, just sitting there alone?
So yeah, that's basically how it is. There was probably a bit of an echo when I played that. That's just because my microphone is close to my speakers. But yeah, it also does other things like singing. So I can play one of these.
And I'll tell you all about it when I see you again.
Well, it's not really good at singing. But yeah, it can also do background music on
Welcome
podcasts.
to Tech Forward, the show that
I don't
unpacks the
really
biggest
recommend
stories
doing
and
this because you can just like record the audio separately and then put your own music behind it when you're editing. It also has, so it is bilingual, but it can also do cross-lingual, so it can speak in 2 languages at the same time.
Hello everyone and welcome to means a small 三位数的加减法对我来说小菜一碟。
So as you can see from this clip, it was speaking English and then it switched to Chinese. And it can also handle long conversations. So if you look here, the generation is actually 42 minutes long and the script is huge here. And the one below it is over an hour, so it's an hour and 30 minutes, and obviously a huge script here. And it has handled generating that entire audio in one go. Now, before we run this tool locally, I do want to talk about whether or not we can use this commercially, because that's usually why you'd run one of these AI models locally. So they don't outright say that, yes, you can use this commercially or no, you can't. But there is the statement down here that says we do not recommend using Vibe Voice in commercial or real-world applications without further testing and development. So basically they're saying they do not recommend it, but they're not saying that you aren't allowed to do it or something like that. So they're not really saying you can't do it, but they're also not giving you permission to do it. So I'm not really sure how the licensing on this tool works. In my opinion, I think it should be fine to use this in a commercial application because they wouldn't have included this statement down here if that wasn't what they meant by it. So yeah, let's get into it. Now, as I was saying before, there's 2 ways to use this. One is from the website vibevoice.io. Now, this is just a demo, so you can use it from here, but really you want to be downloading it on your own PC. So in this interface, you can basically pick your model here. I'm going to show you a better model that's way faster to use at the end of this video. And then you enter your script here. So this is what you want the AI to say. And you can click a random example here to get it to just say anything basically. And yeah, you can hit generate. And on the left-hand side here, you can see the different speakers that it will put into the script. You can customize them yourself when you're writing your own script. And yeah, basically you just hit generate and wait for the audio to be ready. Okay, so it looks like it's done here, but it just says GPU task aborted. And this is fine because we're just using the interactive demo on the website right now. We're going to install it onto our own PC. So up here, you want to click on the GitHub repository. You can also go to Hugging Face and get the model files manually. But on the GitHub repository, they already have like all of the code set up for running the models and sending your text to it, and even the interface and all of that stuff. So we're just going to clone the GitHub repo. I've already done that right here. So this is the Vibe Voice repo, the same folders as here. If you don't know how to do this, basically you just copy the URL up here and then you open a terminal wherever you want to clone it. So for example, I'm going to delete this Vibe Voice folder here. And I'm going to right click and open terminal here. And then once this loads up, I'm going to do git clone and then paste in that URL. Okay, so once you do this, you just hit enter. You do need to have git installed. If you don't have git installed on your PC, you can just download this repository from up here, download zip, and then just extract that zip. But if you just git clone this, it will download the entire repository and put it into a folder for you wherever you want it. So I definitely recommend you to download Git and install it if you don't already have it. But yeah, while we're waiting for this to download, all of the files that we're going to use are in this demo folder right here, which we're cloning. And inside of there, the models that it actually uses, as you can see on this page right here, is the 7 billion parameter model and the 1.5 billion parameter model, which isn't that big, but on like an average PC, it's not going to run that fast. I did find that down here at the bottom, they actually have a new 0.5 billion parameter model. So this is the one that's going to run at close to real time, even on the lowest quality PCs. So it doesn't really matter even what your hardware is. This one is going to run fast on basically any hardware. So if we just click on this link here, it's going to take you to this page where it basically gives you the same instructions to clone the repository. And then once it's done, you just install all the dependencies and then you run this line right here. So this is the important line. It's running the file in the demo folder, but it's pointing to that 0.5 billion parameter model. So once we're done cloning the repo, which we are, we basically just head into that folder. We can close this, open the folder here, and then right click and open terminal in here. So now we're inside of this folder. So the next thing we want to do is pip install -e and then a dot. So what that does is it installs all of the dependencies for this project. So all of the libraries and stuff that we need to run this. So I'm just going to do that quickly. Okay, and once that's done and everything is installed correctly, you can now run your model. So basically just want to copy this command right here that's pointing to the 0.5 billion parameter model and paste that into your terminal and run it. Now this will take a little while to download because it needs to grab that model from Hugging Face. So once this is done installing, which should only take a few minutes depending on your network speed, you might get an error like this. The error basically says torch not compiled with CUDA enabled. And basically what that is there's a library called PyTorch which it's using to run this model. And you may have a version of PyTorch that doesn't have CUDA installed with it to access your GPU. So head to pytorch.org and click on Get Started. And basically here you just need to fill out which version you're on, if you're on Windows, Mac, or Linux. And then you just want to use pip here because pip is the default package installer. And then you want to select Python here and which CUDA version you need. Now, this depends on what graphics card you have on your PC, so it will be different for everyone. You can just Google that or ask ChatGPT for your specific GPU, what do you need. If you don't know how to find out which GPU you have, just press Control, Shift, and Escape. And then here there should be a tab for performance, and in that will tell you your GPU and all of that stuff. So with that out of the way, I already have this installed on a different Conda environment here, so I'm just going to activate that. And I'll just rerun that command. Okay, so once you have PyTorch installed and set up correctly, you just rerun that script again, and you should get this message here saying that it's running on basically localhost port 3000. So you can get to this by either holding down Control on your keyboard and clicking on it, but this will give you an error because of the 4 zeros here. Basically, the 4 zeros just mean that it's running both locally on your PC and within your network, your local Wi-Fi network that you're using. So to actually use this, you want to type 127.0.0.1 port 3000, and this will load up the interface. So in here, you can basically just paste whatever text you want. This is just some text that I copied from one of the browser tabs I have opened here. And there's also a text box here for streaming input. So I'm guessing there's some type of API interface where you can stream text into the API and then it will basically say it out loud as you're streaming text in. But yeah, you basically pick a model down here. So I'm just going to choose one at random. And then you have your CFG and your inference steps. So if you've used something like Comfy UI before, you know what these two are, but I'm just going to explain it for those who don't. So your CFG is basically how creative the model is. So if you have this set super low, the model is going to be super creative and it's going to basically make up its own stuff as it goes along. If you have this way up high, it's going to be super strict and basically do exactly what you tell it. And then inference steps is basically how many times is the input going to be processed before it gives your final output back to you. So at a higher value here, it's probably going to give you better output, but it's also going to take longer because it's going to go over that input many times. So I'm just going to hit start here and see what it gives us. Okay, so this will actually speak while it's generating, and you'll notice that it has like a static key. It kind of pauses and stuff while it's generating. But once it's done generating, which only takes about 10 seconds, depending on how much text you put in here, you can just hit save here. And this will give you a audio file in WAV format.
Due to network latency, the time when audio playback is heard may exceed the 300 mn's first speech chunk generation latencies.
Now again, that should be a bit echoey because my microphone is close to my speakers. But yeah, I'll try to overlay the audio that was generated here onto the recording when I'm editing, and hopefully that fixes it. So yeah, that's how Vibe Voice basically works. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.